What if everything you were taught about ancient history was wrong? Not slightly wrong, not missing a few details, completely, deliberately, and systematically wrong. There is a place in America where that question stops being theoretical. A place where the evidence is not buried in some private archive or hidden in a classified database. It is sitting right there on the official government map, in plain sight, available to anyone, and almost nobody notices it. That place is the Grand Canyon. Look at the official United States Geological Survey map of the north section of the canyon. Look at what they named the formations rising from the canyon floor. The Tower of Set, the Temple of Isis, the Pyramid of Cheops, the Temple of Osiris, the Temple of Horus, the Tower of Ra, Isis Temple, Osiris Temple, Horus Temple, Buddha Temple, Shiva Temple, Brahma Temple, Vishnu Temple, Zoroaster Temple. These are not Native American names. These are not the names of American pioneers or explorers. These are the gods of ancient Egypt, the gods of ancient India, the gods of ancient Persia, all clustered together in one specific region of the canyon. Not scattered randomly, concentrated, as if whoever named them knew exactly what was in that part of the canyon. The official explanation is that a 19th century geologist simply admired world mythology and gave dramatic names to dramatic landscapes. But here is the question nobody in authority wants to answer. Why those names? Why those gods? Why that specific part of the canyon? And why, when historians search the records to find out exactly who named them and when, is the answer so remarkably difficult to find?
Well, the whole Grand Canyon thing is bananas. Like, there's areas of the Grand Canyon you cannot explore.
You cannot go, you cannot fly over,
Right.
and you can't fly under the rim.
The 1909 discovery. On April 5th, 1909, the Arizona Gazette published a front-page story that should have changed the world. Explorations in the Grand Canyon. Mysteries of immense rich cavern being brought to light. The article described a Smithsonian institution-funded expedition led by an explorer named G.E. Kincaid, a veteran of the Colorado River, a government-backed adventurer. And what he reported finding 2,000 feet above the waterline, hidden behind a natural rock shelf that concealed it completely from below, was not a cave. It was a facility. The main passageway was 12 feet wide. The walls were perfectly straight, precisely cut, not by nature, by design. A great cross-shaped hall branched into dozens of rooms. Inside those rooms, mummies wrapped in a dark bark like fabric, perfectly preserved by the desert air. Copper tools harder than anything the metallurgy of the era could produce. Tablets covered in symbols resembling Egyptian hieroglyphics. Urns, artifacts. And at the center of it all, in the main chamber, a statue. Golden, cross-legged, its features matching no Native American tradition ever recorded. Researchers who studied the description later said it resembled one figure above all others, Osiris. The Smithsonian was named as an active participant in the excavation. Government-funded, officially sanctioned. This was not a rumor. This was a front-page story with named institutions, named individuals, and precise operational details. And then, almost immediately, it vanished.
It shows up in the paper. The government goes down there like, there's a lot of stuff down here. Let's grab it. Send it to the Smithsonian, who keeps 99% of the stuff under wraps. They have, a billion items that nobody can see. And then that's the end of it.
The cover-up, no follow-up coverage, no Smithsonian press release, no photographs, no museum exhibit, no academic paper. The story simply stopped existing. Today, if you contact the Smithsonian and ask about G.E. Kincaid, and the 1909 Grand Canyon excavation. The response is immediate and absolute. They have no record of a G.E. Kincaid, no record of a Professor S.A. Jordan, no knowledge of any Egyptian-style artifacts ever being recovered anywhere in North America. Case closed. Move on. Nothing to see here. But the Smithsonian was absolutely operating in the Grand Canyon during that exact period. Their own records confirm active expeditions in Arizona in the years surrounding 1909. The Arizona Gazette was not a fringe tabloid. It was a respected regional newspaper whose editors would have faced immediate public humiliation if they had invented a story this detailed and attributed it directly to one of the most powerful scientific institutions in the country. And here is the detail that changes everything. The National Park Service today officially acknowledges the existence of ancient man-made tunnels in the restricted section of the canyon. Not natural caverns, man-made tunnels, in the official record, officially closed to the public. No further explanation provided. Ancient man-made tunnels, in the exact area described by Kincaid in 1909, in the exact area covered in Egyptian names, in the exact area you are not permitted to enter. When the most powerful scientific institution in America tells you something does not exist, and the government's own documents quietly confirm that it does, you are no longer dealing with a mystery. You are dealing with a decision about what you are allowed to know. The star map and the ancient connection. When researchers began mapping the Egyptian-named formations from above, they found something extraordinary. The Tower of Ra, the Temple of Osiris, the Temple of Isis. Viewed from altitude, these three formations create a near-perfect triangle. Ra, Osiris, Isis, the three pillars of the Egyptian divine family. But the geometry goes further. Independent researchers overlaying star charts onto the canyon map found that the alignment of these formations mirrors the belt stars of the constellation Orion. The same alignment deliberately encoded into the layout of the pyramids of Giza on the other side of the world. Orion, the celestial symbol of Osiris himself. Across the ancient world, from Egypt to Mexico to Cambodia, we find civilizations that encoded the geometry of the stars into the Earth itself, separated by oceans, separated by centuries, building to the same blueprint. Is it so difficult to believe another civilization did the same thing here in this canyon before the history books begin? The Hopi people have lived near the Grand Canyon for thousands of years. They speak of a place called the Sipapu, a sacred opening in the earth, the point of emergence, the place where their ancestors came up from a world below into this one. They do not describe it as legend. They describe it as memory, an underground world, beneath the canyon, exactly where Kincaid said he found it. So who built it? A pre-Columbian seafaring civilization following the stars to the American continent? A culture older than Egypt itself? One that Egypt merely inherited its knowledge from? Or something stranger still? A gateway, a threshold between worlds. Ancient legend and modern quantum physics are converging on the same idea from opposite directions, that this reality is not the only one. The door that waits. The restricted zone is real. This is not speculation. The FAA maintains flight restrictions above specific canyon coordinates beyond standard noise protection rules. Park rangers enforce ground closures around the Egyptian-named formations. Researchers who have attempted to reach Osiris Temple and Shiva Temple on foot have been turned back under vague and shifting protocols. The man-made tunnels are in the official record. The restrictions are in the official record. The Egyptian names are on the official map. What is missing from the official record is any explanation that makes sense of all these things together. 6 million people visit the Grand Canyon every year. They stand at the rim, they take their photographs, and 2,000 feet below them, behind a shelf of sandstone that has hidden it for longer than American history has existed, something waits. The Tower of Set stands silent above the Colorado River. The Temple of Isis catches the desert light at dawn and holds it for a moment before letting it fall into the dark below. The Pyramid of Cheops rises from the canyon floor like a memory the earth is trying to hold on to. Somebody named these places. Somebody stood in this canyon and reached across the entire world for the gods of ancient Egypt. Whether that was a 19th century geologist with a classical education, or something older, something encoded, something left deliberately for the right moment in history to find, we cannot say for certain. What we can say is this: the official story does not hold. The silence is not the silence of an institution with nothing to say. It is the silence of one that has decided you should not hear it. The tunnels are real, the names are real, the restrictions are real. And somewhere in the dark beneath the oldest rock on the American continent, there is a door. What is behind that door could rewrite everything. Not just American history, the story of who we are, where we came from, and whether we have ever truly been alone on this earth. That door is still there, still sealed, still waiting. In part 2, we get closer than anyone has before. We follow the one researcher who located the exact coordinates of the entrance, assembled a team, and came back with something that has never been made public. Until now. The canyon has kept its secrets for a very long time. But every door, no matter how well hidden, can be opened.